Alright, so normally I don't do this, or actually I've never done this before, like voiceover over gameplay, but I thought it would be a good time to do it because it's actually a pretty juicy story of what happened to me this week or last week, depending on when this video comes out, and whenever you're watching, I don't care. Okay, so I guess I'll do it. Also, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe because those buttons just like being touched, guys. I know it. Just want to touch those buttons. Just subscribe. Okay. Okay. So let's start from the beginning. Right. This happened. Dying. Alright. So it was a normal Tuesday. And I was doing my normal daily things. I literally did nothing at all so far today. I didn't even exercise today because it was my chillin', grillin', relaxin', chillaxin' day, you know? And I had been exercising like a lot lately, but today wasn't a break day, okay? Anyway, so doing my normal things, and my brother finally got home from school, and I was like, hey yo, little bro, you wanna smash some kids with me? And he was like, oh boy, do I love smashing kids. Obviously in Super Smash Bros, guys, come on, come on. Anyway, so we turn on the Switch, start playing. However, in like 30 minutes into our gaming session, my back starts hurting. Like around my left shoulder blade. And I'm like, bro, like this hurts like so much. Like I thought I was maybe sitting like uncomfortably, or maybe I slept really crooked the night before. So I'm like trying to get in a good position, but the pain's still there and it's getting worse actually. So I'm like, bro, you know, I can't play anymore. And he was like kind of shocked because I never say that. So you know, we end up stopping our gaming session a little early, and I go into my room and I try sleeping it off, like the pain. And I can't, because the pain is actually moved to my chest now, and my chest, like when I lay down, it's like on fire. Not on fire, but you know, it hurts like a lot. And I'm like, bro, like I can't sleep, oh my god. And like now I'm like having like trouble breathing, and like my left side is like kind of hurting, like near my chest area and whatever. I'm like, why is this happening? And I was starting to get a little scared because I've never had like breathing problems or like this pain before ever in my life. So I'm like, okay, you know what, once my mom gets home, I'm gonna tell her like, hey, like I have to go to the hospital. However, I wait like an hour and 2 hours and she's still not home. So I'm like, that's it, I gotta shoot her a text. So I text her, I'm like, Mom, where are you? She's like, we're out getting cake, presents, and balloons, all the goods, because it's your brother's birthday tomorrow. And I'm like, oh my god, I forgot. It's like I remember it throughout the whole day, but at the time I totally forgot because I was going through this pain. So I was like, oh my god. So I'm like, hey mom, like I'm having all these symptoms, whatever. And she's like, oh my god, we have to go to the ER. Like that's insane. So takes another 30 minutes for her to get home. She comes home, drops off all the things she got from the store, and we rush over to the hospital. We don't go to the ER, we just go see the doctor, normal doc. And I explain everything, and they're like, are you nervous? Like, are you anxious or whatever? Because I think they thought I was having like an anxiety attack, and I'm like, no, but my chest really hurts. So they're like, huh, okay, so you know, my mom and I were already thinking the worst. We thought I was having a stroke or a heart attack, like a mini one. So the doctor sees me, they do the EKG, and they say nothing's wrong with my heart. So they're like, huh, you know, like you've been doing like a lot of exercising lately, maybe you like, I don't know, like spraying something in your chest or whatever. And I'm like, that doesn't really make sense because I did no exercise today and I was completely fine throughout the whole day, and suddenly, like all of a sudden, like my chest starts hurting. But like, you know, they're the doctors, so I'm like, alright, whatever you say, doc. So we leave. Yeah, all they did was the EKG and that was it. So we left, still with chest pain, whatever, but I'm like, I guess it'll go away. This all happened on Tuesday. Now it is Wednesday, okay? And it's my brother's birthday. However, he wakes up with a sore throat. So, you know, we're like, oh man, like he's probably gonna get sick like tomorrow or like later on today. But his birthday shall go on. So, you know, we did the normal birthday things, blah, 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 blah. That day was great, whatever. Next day, Thursday, my brother like still has like a little bit of sore throat, but now he has a full-on fever, right, of 100 and something. And my mom comes to me. She's like, hey, I'm going to work, but your brother's he's in his room, can you like just watch him for a bit? We might not be able to go to our trip to Sequoia this weekend because we were actually planning a trip to go to Sequoia. In case you don't know what Sequoia is, it is a national park in California. I live in California, right? Big surprise. It's like 4 hours away from where I live, 4 or 3-ish, depending on traffic. And if he still has a fever, then we might not actually go. So that'll suck. But I'm like, oh man, hopefully like his fever goes away. But yeah, you know, she goes to work after she tells me that. So it's just me and my little bro. And my little bro, he's like, hey, like, you want to play something? Like, I'm really bored. But like, he doesn't want to get out of bed. So I grab my computer, hook it up to his room, I grab our Nintendo Switch, and we start playing Smash Bros. Again. You know, I'm like, I'm probably gonna get sick now because he's fully sick, and I'm literally right next to him playing Smash Bros. In his room, which is now probably contaminated with his cooties. So I'm like, whatever. Like, I want him to like feel alright. You know, nice big older brother. I'm just that guy, you know, that kind. And I tell him about my chest pain. I'm like, yo, while we're playing, like, I'm like, yo, like, sleeping is the worst. Like, I haven't told anyone this, but I'm like, every time I sleep, it feels like there's something in my chest, which makes sense later on. But yeah, for now, you'll see. This is, yeah. I tell him like, there's something in my chest, like some weird thing. Like, it feels like it's moving. I don't know what it is, but it just hurts like to lay down flat and sleep. So I always have to sleep like elevated now, or like on my left side. He's like, huh, that's not good. You should probably tell mom. And I'm like, yeah, I probably should, but I don't. Anyways, the day goes on. After that, blah 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 blah. It's all good. Now it is Friday, and my little brother's fever has gone away, kinda. He's like getting better, so he's like, you know, we can go now. So we start packing, right? However, I wake up with a sore throat that day, so I'm like, great, now I'm probably gonna get sick, or most likely I will get sick, yeah. But you know, it's all right now. So we pack and we head off to Sequoia, a 4-hour drive, whatever. Throughout the day, my sore throat just gets like worse and worse. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be sick tomorrow, and my chest pain's just not gonna get any better. So whatever. Cause today we're just checking into the hotel and like going to look around town over there, not going to the actual national park thing. We do the stuff and eventually we just go to sleep. Now it is Saturday. We wake up, we get ready to go to Sequoia. However, I was not able to sleep the night before because we all had to sleep in a room. And forgive me, Mom, but she is the loudest snorer I have ever known in my entire life. So I could not sleep because of that, the amount of noise she was making. And not to mention, like, my chest hurts when I lay down, so I can only sleep on my right side. But the beds were so uncomfortable. Sleeping on my right side was just, it was pain. So I was basically awake all night. I could only sleep like 1 or 2 hours. And by 2 or 3 a.m. I finally had like a full-on fever of like 101 degrees. So I was dying, yeah. So I'm like very sleep deprived. But however, I don't want to like ruin the trip, so I'm like, alright, let's just go. So, you know, the park is like really high in the mountains, right? The elevation change like a couple thousand feet in the air, or like a couple thousand feet up in the mountains, which is bad for me, but I don't know it yet. You know, we're looking out and like it's pretty cool. It's really cool. So we finally get to our destination of Sequoia. Woo, cool. And you know, I'm like full on fever of 101 or something. I have chest pains. I got no sleep, and like my body is so sore, like probably like fever pains from fever soreness, right? So I'm like dying, but I'm like, I'll just thug it out, whatever. So I just push on, and we're also doing all this, like, these walks and like little hikes and stuff to get to these places, and I'm like dying, but it's still fun. And there's also these sweet echo spots, right? So I'm like screaming throughout the whole day too, which is also bad for me, but I don't know it yet. We also see this meadow where I try screaming as loud as I can. However, by this point, this was like the last place we went to during our time at Sequoia, and my voice is like cooked, guys. I'll like insert a clip or whatever.
I'm just gonna walk here on the side. What? You sound like a squirrel. Like a Christmas tree.
Where? Oh, can we cut those down?
I pulled them. Those are big over there.
But yeah, I like cannot scream anymore. Like my voice is completely gone. It might still be gone. I don't know if you guys can hear it. But yeah, like it is gone, and I'm just having full-on voice cracks. It's so bad. Yeah. After all that, you know, we finally are. We get back to our car and we like head down the mountain, back to our hotel, and I'm exhausted, right? So I'm like, oh man, like I'm so glad we can go back to our hotel and like just relax. And my family, they're like, hey, how about we go and eat, guys? And I'm like, nope, I'm going back to the hotel. I want to sleep. So they're like, okay, we'll bring back food for you. So they drop me off at the hotel, and I'm like, oh, finally I'm all alone. I can maybe get like an hour or two of sleep, right? And no, they're gone for like an hour getting food, and I'm on the bed in the hotel trying to sleep. And even though I'm like super tired, like one of the most tired I've ever been, that sentence even made sense, I still can't sleep because I can't lay down flat because I'm like a back sleeper. And I'm just in too much pain, and like the thing in my chest is still moving. I'm like, oh my god. Finally they get home and with the food, and I'm like, guys, like I tell my mom, like, mom, I can't take this anymore. Like I'm dying. Like the doctor's wrong. Like I feel like there's something in my chest. Can you just put your ear to my chest and just hear it when I'm laying down? And she's like, okay. So she does that, and she's like, oh my god, we have to go to the ER. Like that is not normal. Like before we like actually go, Saturday 9 p.m. she's like we could just leave right now and like go back to home, just 4 hours. We'll be like in our local hospital, because being here caused a lot of problems, you know. Because like, what if I have to stay the night? And I'm like, I don't know, mom. Like I'm dying. And she's like, okay, let's just go, because we don't know. We go to the ER, and only me and my mom are allowed in, right? So my sister has to drive my two brothers back in with our rental car that we have to the hotel, which luckily was only like 2 blocks away. My mom, she thought that I had pneumonia right now, so we're like, hey guys, like I think my son has pneumonia. So they're like, okay, like we'll do all these tests on you. So yeah, you know, they take my vitals, and now, so they take all my vitals, temperature, blood pressure, height, weight. Now I didn't say this before, but on Tuesday, like the day I got it, they drew blood from me, right, from my left arm. And so today they're like, okay, we're gonna draw blood from you again. But I'm like, oh, but you guys already drew blood from me like on Tuesday, and like this isn't the same hospital. It's like a totally different like what place, but I can like pull up like the results, and so I'm trying to look. However, I get no service, right? So I can't get service to see my results, and they're like, okay, like you don't have to, but it's really recommended that you do. So I'm like, frick, like fine, okay. So I asked them to do it on my right arm this time, so now both arms are like kind of sore, like whatever. They also noticed that my voice is gone, And they're like, why is your like voice gone? I'm like, oh, because I've been screaming like all day at Sequoia. So they give me some Tylenol medicine to help my fever and my congestion, because I was also very congested. So I start feeling a little better throughout that night, but my voice, like, I must have caught like some sort of virus, or that's what they said, because my voice was gone for like days. But anyways, yeah, so, and they also take an x-ray of my chest, which they didn't do the first time. So the lady comes and she's like, okay, now that we did an x-ray, we can see what is wrong with you. Answer to what is wrong. A solution to your problem. And they say, you have pneumothorax, or something like that. Also known as a collapsed lung. And I'm like, what? Like, seriously? Anyways, in case if you're wondering what pneumothorax is, it's like in your lung. It's like you have a lung, and then like it shrinks a little bit, and then the area where like the lung should be, like there's like unwanted air. And they're like, yep, that's what you have. And there's two options, or two things you can do. You can take like high pressure oxygen, or we could insert like some needle or a tube into your chest area where like the air is, and suck out like the air that shouldn't be there. The doctor's like, alright, so you're gonna probably have to stay here for the night, maybe like the next day too, and we'll see what'll happen next then. And me and my mom were like, whoa, hold on, we're actually visiting, we're not from here, we're from out of town, we can't be here. Because this was the worst. Okay, so our rental car was due the next day. We had to check out of the hotel the next day, or like literally today, because now it is Sunday. My siblings, my sister, my two brothers, they would have no place to be because they can't be in the ER with me. And not only that, but I have to sign up and pay for my uni classes by tomorrow, and I don't have like any computer to do it on, because I could have done it all summer, but I waited until the last second, so that is my fault, right? But I still have to do it. It is like 2 a.m. and we're like, doc, we can't stay here. And she's like, okay, like I understand, like even though like you should be here, like it does make sense that like you would want to go back. So we leave the hospital, my sister comes and picks us up, and you know, we pack our things. It is 3 a.m. in the morning, and we're like, okay, let's go back home. So we drive 4 hours back home. We get back home, drop everyone off, and then me and my mom rush straight to the ER, to our local hospital. Finally, after 4 hours, and we get there around like 6-7 a.m. and we tell them my whole situation and everything that's happened. So they put me in a room. They're like, yep, we can confirm that you have a collapsed lung. And my mom explains everything we did, and the doctor starts laughing. He's like, that's insane, you did everything wrong. And we're like, what do you mean? He's like, hiking or like doing exercise, the long walks is so bad. Screaming at the top of your lungs, that is really bad. And the elevation change, because like, you know, we were going up and down the mountains like during the drives, and up and down like to get back home during like the 4 hours, that could really harm it or like make it worse. So they were very surprised to see how I was still stable for like a whole week. And I was like, oh man, like that is crazy. Like, so finally they're like, so he was like, okay, yeah, so we'll get you that high pressure oxygen thing and see if it helps. But before they do, the nurse comes in and is like, alright, we're gonna take blood again. And I'm like, bro. And like, I also need the IV, so they take blood and then they leave it there and like give me the IV, and I'm like, oh my god. So now like my left arm is extremely sore because it's been like poked twice, and now there's an IV in it, and I'm like, ugh. So my mom's in the room with me, like, oh my god, thanks mom, I know. Like I love my mom so much. She was with me the whole time. Man, amazing mom, right? I know. Yeah, so I'm in the room, I'm getting the oxygen, I'm in an elevated bed, right? So like I'm not laying down flat, and I'm like, I can finally catch some Z's. So, you know, I sleep a bit. Oh my god, it was the greatest sleep ever, even if it was like for like 2 or 3 hours. But yeah, I was there for like half the day, or like a good chunk of the day, and they're like, alright, like it's time to take like another round of x-rays to see if like it's improved. So they take more x-rays, then they come back and he's like, yep, so here's what you can do, because it didn't really get like any better or any worse, like maybe like a little bit better, but that's it. He's like, one, you could get the needle, or like put the thing in your chest where the unwanted air is, and we could suck it out, but you'd have to leave it there for like maybe a week or whatever. Or option two, because you've been stable this long and you've done literally the worst possible things and it doesn't look like it would get any worse, is you could actually do nothing. And he was like, and because like you've been like stable this long, like I actually don't recommend either one. Like the other one with the tube in your chest would like release the air faster, but you know, like there's always that small chance or like we could hit something, and yeah, you know what would happen. But yeah, so they ask, what do you want to do? So me and my mom are talking, and she just starts crying, and I'm like, oh my god, mom, like it's okay. Like she's like, you should not get that, because like what if like they do mess up and like you die? And I'm like, oh my god, mom, like it's okay, like I guess it's fine, I'll just like deal with it, but like I'll have it for like twice as long, so like maybe like a month. So finally the doctor like let us talk about it, and he comes back in, have an answer of what you want to do. We're like, yeah, we'll just wait it out. So he's like, okay, now here are some things you can't do. So he explains, he's like, you can't yell, you can't do any like activities. When you play video games, you can't celebrate too hard, like screaming or whatever, because that could make it worse. You can't go to places where like you change in elevation, whatever. Sleeping's gonna be hard, so you're probably gonna have to sleep elevated for like as long as you have this, and you'll experience some pains like for a while. So that kind of sucks, because I had been exercising, you know, I was seeing some progress, right? The gains were starting to come in, guys, but I'm like, alright, I guess it is what it is. So we leave the hospital and get on with my day, get on with my life, and come home, return the rental car, we sign up for my classes, fever finally goes away. But that's my story, and that's why I have this now, and I'll have it for a month. Hopefully the next time, or hopefully maybe whenever you're seeing this, you don't have it anymore. I don't have it anymore. Oh, so I'm watching this and I'm like, yeah, I don't have it. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, that's it. Bye.